gentlemen. If I say factor trinomials, how many need to be in a trinomial? 3. If you don't have a trinomial, are you going to factor the way we do today? No. Jaden, we need to be quiet. My notes will go till probably close towards the bell. So let's be quiet. Second period, we'll have the most time. Last period had 5 minutes for homework. Okay, factor trinomials. All right, how do I factor trinomials in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c? Remember I said IM2 is different, nothing like IM1. Those of you think you're going to do things wrong and pass. All right, so ax squared plus bx plus c, let's talk about it. We've had them in the form of this before. We just haven't talked about it. Now we're actually going to worry about it, and they need to be in this form. So notice your x squared, and then your x, and then your constant. I don't know why we're having a conversation, but I suggest we shut our mouths. Because I don't need to pass IM2. I did pass Algebra 2 in 10th grade. So I suggest you be quiet over there. Here we go. A, B, and C are numbers. They are numbers. X squared is going to be a variable, and so is your x. We don't really care about them. They're just going to be there. But we do need to know that A, B, and C are numbers. All right, what does that mean? That means we're going to draw this thing called the x. How does the x work? It's pretty easy. Listen carefully. Since A, B, and C are numbers, we're going to use all 3 of those numbers in a certain way. The first way is we're going to take A times C, and that number is going to go on the top. So whatever A is and C is, we're going to multiply them, and they go on top. Your B just goes on the bottom. Your goal is to find the 2 side numbers. We don't know what they are. We have to find them. In order to find them, we're going to practice it. So we must find these numbers. Okay? Now, what do those numbers say? Those numbers tell us whatever they are, they're the same 2 numbers. Well, they're 2 numbers. And when I take those 2 numbers and I multiply them, I'm going to get whatever A times C was. And I take those same 2 numbers and I add them, I'm going to get what B is. Do you understand? Okay? So those 2 numbers, when I multiply them, I get the top number, whatever that product gave me. And when I add them, I get the B, which is the bottom number. Make sense? All right, you're going to practice. We're going to practice like 10 of them. Here we go. Draw your x. On the top, you're going to put a 12, and on the bottom, you're going to put a 7. On the top, you're going to put a 12, and on the bottom, you're going to put a 7. So in your brain, you're thinking, you're not going to tell me out loud, you're going to think, what 2 numbers, when I multiply them, I get 12, but at those same 2 numbers I add, I get 7. And when you have them, write them down and raise your hand. So you're thinking of 2 numbers, when you multiply, you get 12, and when you add them, you get 7. What are they? 3 and 4, 4 and 3. Does it matter which way I write them? No. So let's double check. 3 times 4 is what? Good. And 3 plus 4 is what? 7. Did it work? Yes, it did. Got it? Okay, we're going to keep going. $20 and $12. 20 and 12. You're thinking of two numbers. When I multiply them, I get 20, and when I add them, I get 12. When you have it, raise your hand. Two numbers multiply to give me 20 and add up to give me 12. Check with the neighbor next to you, see if you have the same one. If not, help them. What do we get? 10 and 2. 10 and 2, yes? All right, let's try again. $54 and $15. 54 and 15. I have to make sure I add it right in my head. 54 and 15. So you're thinking of two numbers that multiply to give us 54 and add up to give us 15. Remember, we're not talking right now. You're figuring this out on your own. This is where your multiplication skills come into effect. So when you get it, raise your hand. Shh, no talking. First rule. Check with neighbor. What is it? 9 and 6. I knew if I threw a 9 out there, it'd screw you up. All right, let's try again. Let's do an easy one. Some of you guys are still like looking at me like I'm crazy. This is small. Stop talking.
Oh, I thought you said
48 and 14. 48 and 14. Shh. Raise your hand when you have it. What is it? 6 and 8. Good? Ready for a negative? No. Okay, let's do it. Stop talking. Negative 27, negative 6. Negative 27, negative 6. Negative 27, negative 6. Hands up when you got it. Waiting for my middle group over here. It's a little awesome here. Check with the neighbor. My middle group's struggling. Check with the neighbor.
I just said 9.
So count by 9s.
18.
That's 2. That's 3. What do we get? Good. Here, make a note. If your top number is negative, you have to have one of them be negative. If the top number is negative, that means one of them has to be negative. So when I did this in my head, I needed to then subtract and not necessarily add, right?
Yeah.
So you really subtract 9 and 3, and then I was like, wait, which one gets the negative sign? Well, the 3, because the 6 is negative. Okay? Doo-doo-doo. Negative 60 and negative 11. You're welcome. Negative 60 and negative 11. There'll be a couple of you who will get it. Negative 60, negative 11. Shh. Don't talk. Raise your hand when you get it. You should know how to multiply. One of you has it. She's not going to tell you because I don't want her to. I'm going to show you how to solve this one. That's why. You got it, Jaime? I haven't got it.
Oh, they're negative.
All right. We're going to make a chart. I did this one for a reason. Those of you that have it, I know you have it. Those of you that don't, there's a reason why I did this one on purpose. Because it's something you're like, well, I know 60, I know 5 goes in, and you're dividing, and you're like, I know this goes in, and you're dividing. Okay, let's start. So we're going to multiply. We're going to start with 1. 1 times what gives us 60? 60. If I subtract those, why am I subtracting? Because the top's negative. Do I get 11? No. Does 2 go in? 2 and what? Do I get 11? Nope. Does 3 go in? How many times? Thank you, guys. It goes in 20. If I subtract that, do I get 11? No. Does 4 go in? Yes, it does. How much? 15. If I subtract that, do I get 11? Well, I do, but I'm going to keep this going because let's pretend I didn't figure it out yet. Does 5 go in? How many times? 12. I know it's not going to be 11, but I'm going to keep going, okay? Does 6 go in? How many times? Does 7? Does 8? Does 9? Then you're at 10. Do I already have 10 up here? Okay, so I did this for a reason. I wanted you to see how the process works. If I go through all the factors, I know one of these is going to give me 11, right? We figured out it was 4 and 15. But which one's negative? Yep. Understand? So if you get stuck, I better see a what? Better see a chart. And you can use a calculator when you're making your chart, but the reason is this. If you just start plugging in numbers into the calculator, you forget what you plugged in. Okay? There's a reason why you make the chart. It's to organize your work. Okay? Because I can enter numbers all day long into the calculator, and then I'm like, oh crap, what did I enter? And I know some of you have done that, because I've watched it happen. All right, let's keep it going. Gotta think. Stop talking. No, I don't like it. Okay. Negative 30 and 7. Negative 30 and 7. Raise your hand when you have it. Let them figure it out. Hey, if you're stuck, what should you be making? A chart?
There's someone at the door.
I know. Oh, it's Haley. I didn't want to. Thank you. What is it? Negative 3 and 10. Oh, look at you. How many of you are going, I don't know my multiplication and I really stink right now? I know. Too easy.
She's about to give us a hard one. Exactly. Let's go to like negative 4 million. Negative 4 million.
36 and negative 13. 36 and negative 13. Uh-oh, the top positive, but the bottom's negative. What do you know about the two sides? Both have to be negative. I'm glad. This is a pretty easy exercise. Hands up when you have it. There's like 6 of you. Desiree, you got it? I think Desiree got it, guys. Oh, careful. Is that up to this? It's 12.
Wait, hold on. Let me do my math. Hold on. No, hold on.
-5.
Wait. Okay, right, never mind.
What is it?
Negative 4.
Negative what? Negative 4 and negative 9. I know right now you guys don't know your 9 multiplications. Then why aren't you doing the 9 trick?
I don't know. I didn't think about it.
Wait, can you teach me the 9
The 9 trick, right?
First, hold on, stop. Yes, but look at 36. The first number, this adds up to 9, yeah? Yeah? The first number is a 3, go up 1. It's 4. It adds up to 9. Desiree knows the 9 trick.
I know the 9 trick. 9 trick.
I didn't know the 9 trick till I was about 28.
I learned that.
I don't know how to teach the 9 trick. I just know how to multiply. Desiree knows the 9 trick. I know you have to take 1 away. My niece does it weird too. She does, like she subtracts and then she knows how to hold her finger. It's weird. She does 9, it's weird. So she's like, so she goes 9 times 4. 9 times 4, she knows it's going to end up in a 3, so she does the 3. It's weird. Don't ask. She's weird. I don't know. She gets it, though. But she's been Okay, ready? I got to think. Stop talking. I don't like that number. That one's better. $66 and negative 17. And negative 17. Leilani had her hand up earlier.
Did I get it right?
What is it, Alyssa? Yes, it is. All right, let's see if I can trick you guys. Ready?
Please don't.
Negative 42 and 1.
What?
Negative 42 and 1.
It's so easy.
A little bit.
I don't know what I'm thinking.
What are you thinking?
I'm just thinking that.
That's wrong, Alyssa.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
What's that head? What?
Oh, wait, no, wait, I'm wrong.
What is this?
Wait,
Math?
wait.
No, I don't know what it is. What is it?
You coming closer to me isn't making me smarter, Mr.
We're up there doing
Try and like, you know.
Like, our Desiree powers don't
It wasn't working? Desiree squared wasn't working?
What is it? 1.5. It's 1.5 of it.
That was a bit different.
1.5. It wasn't Desiree squared, it was just 1.5 Desirees. Does that add up to 1? Does it add up to 1? What is it, guys? Negative 6 and positive 7. So here's a little note. First of all, you don't know your multiplication of 7s either. Number 1. 2s, 3s, 5s. How do you know? If you know 6s.
I don't know, but you know 7 is scary.
All right, really quick, pay attention. If there's a number 1 on the bottom, your numbers are only one spot away from each other, guys.
Oh, I should probably write it.
Yeah. If there's a 1 on the bottom, your numbers are only one spot away from each other when you take the opposite value, okay? We're not looking at negatives at that point. We're just looking at 1's a 6, 1's a 7, then we put the negative in, okay? Make sense? All right, let's see if you can do this one. You ready? Nine and 10. 9 and 10. When you get it, raise your hand. Shh. 9 and 10. When you get it, raise your hand.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah.
Come on, half Desiree.
Okay, so do a really hard one.
I stumped a lot of you in the beginning. Check with the neighbor.
You do a really hard one and then a really easy one.
What are the answers? 1 and 9. Now listen very carefully. This one is actually one that stumps a lot of people. Shh. The reason why is this. You forget that there's other things to multiply besides 1. Right? That's why you forget it. If this number is only 1 bigger than this one, guess what? It's 1. Okay? So if you have 1 bigger, you know you're using 1 in there. Make sense? Last one. Negative 36 and 0. Negative 36 and 0. Make you think. I know it is. Negative 6 and 0. Shh. When you have it, raise your hand. Shh. I didn't say have a conversation.
I'll try to help.
You didn't get my Desiree powers, so you don't get to help. What is it? Negative 6 and positive 6. Woo! Yes? We good? How many of you are going, oh crap, I don't know how to multiply and this is going to be hard?
No, that's easy. I said let's keep doing it for everything.
I have to actually factor now.
No, it's just fun.
Yeah, we're going to keep going with it, but that's only the beginning. All right, let's go. Write examples. Here we go. We're going to do examples. No. That was just the beginning. That was like your warm-up example.
Well,
You're lying.
are you recording? Oh my
Don't be like, there's some crazy, there's a half Desiree in there. We're going to go 3x squared plus 7x plus 4. We have a trinomial in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. So ax squared plus bx plus c, yes? It's in the form. So what we're going to do is you don't need to write ax squared plus bx plus c every single time, but it does need to be in that order. If you're not in that order, you need to make it in that order. It's also standard form, yes? Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to identify a, b, and c. So you're going to go ahead and look and identify A. A is located right here, so what is your A? It is 3. Here's your B, 7. Here's your C, 4. If there was a negative, we would put the negative sign, but right now there are no negatives, so we're going to leave it like that. Good? If you want to watch first, you can, because this is where it starts to get a little confusing. All right. So up at the top, I told you that you have to multiply A times C for the top number, right? I was giving you the top number. Now you need to actually figure out where the top number comes from. So you're going to multiply A times C, so that's 3 times 4, which is how much? 12 goes on top.
And then 7 on the bottom. And then you figure out the two numbers. And then the number on the side is A.
It was the first example I gave you. So we have 12 on the top, B goes on bottom, which is your 7. Now you're thinking of the two numbers, and it was the first example I gave you earlier, so what is it? 3 and 4. No negatives here, yes? Okay, now pay attention. You're going to bring down the first term. So I'm going to bring down that 3x squared. Then I'm also going to bring down the positive 4. So you can be watching, you don't have to be writing right now. So when I write it, I'm going to write 3x squared here, positive 4 here. Jaden, if you keep turning that way, you're going to go sit where your neck stays that way, up here in the front. Over here, we have a 3 and a 4. They're going to replace the 7x. Isn't 3 plus 4 7? Okay, so I'm just replacing the 7x. If I don't replace it, I'm back to where I started, and that doesn't help me. So the 3 and the 4 replace the 7x. So I'm going to replace it. That's a positive 3, so it's a positive 3x. That's a positive 4, so that's a positive 4x. Isn't 3 plus 4 7? Yeah? Okay, we're not going to combine like terms. So remember 2 weeks ago, on 823, you multiplied polynomials, right? You had the two binomials, you multiplied with the box, and you got the answer, and it looks something like this. You're working backwards now. So now we're going to go from here to our answer being binomials in parentheses. All right, so what do we do now? You don't know. Oh, Desiree. You're going to draw a box. Now, remember I told you that box is going to come back. Here it is. Now, the most important part is this. That first term goes in the first box. The last term goes in the last box. Everything else doesn't kind of matter. So the first term does need to go in the first box. The last term does need to go in the last box. And the other two, just put them in there. So remember, when we multiplied polynomials the last 2 weeks ago, you had something like this. Yes? And you drew a box, and they went on the outside, and you got the insides, and your answer would be x squared plus 7x plus 12, just so you know. Okay? That would be, after you do all this, this would give you your answer. Today you're going from here to here. Okay? So you're going backwards. So now, what we're going to do is you're going to pull out a GCF. So I said, if you didn't understand yesterday's homework, this is where you're lost. So watch. You're going to cover it up. You're going to ask, what can I divide into 3 and 3? 3. Wonderful. I have x squared and x. What goes into x squared and x? Good? Okay. Going to the next line. We have a positive 4 and a positive 4. What divides into 4 and 4? 4. Wonderful. Now, I put a plus 4 because this sign right here is a positive. If this was a negative, it would become negative, but because whatever this sign is becomes that sign out there. Notice it's the box next to it. Understood? Okay. We're going to go a different way. We're going to go up and down. We have 3x squared and 4x. So we're going to look at 3 and 4. What goes into 3 and 4? 3 and 4. 1. Yes, it will be an x, but let's put the 1 because some people don't understand. Then we have x squared and x, and what do they have in common? That's your x. Yes? Yes, I can get rid of the 1 in a second, but for now we're going to write the 1. Then we're looking here. This one you can't get rid of. We have a 3 and a 4. What divides into 3 and 4? 1. Once again, you're looking at this sign here. That's a what? Positive. So I'm going to go ahead and put a positive sign. We good? Okay, those of you that are writing and not watching, like, you're going to get lost and you're going to be like, I don't know what she just did. Here we go. Your answer is 3x plus 4 and x plus 1. We just worked backwards. If you wanted to check, guess what, guys? You multiply using the box, yeah. And in case you forgot, those are the notes, 823. Okay? So if you want to check, you multiply using the box to then check your work. Do you have to check your work? No. Sometimes you might want to check your work because you're like, that just doesn't look right. Multiply it out. Yes?
How many questions are
20. You're welcome.
I'm gonna
Have fun. X squared minus 7x plus 10. Shh. X squared minus 7x plus 10. Listen to what I want you to do. Was anyone still copying this one up here? No? All right, what I want you to do is this. I want you to identify A, B, and C. I want you to draw the X, and I want you to fill in the X. Then I want you to stop. Okay? So identify A, B, and C. Draw the X. Fill in the X. Find your numbers, and stop. Not right now. Wait a minute. What's your A?
1.
Very good. What's your B? Good. What's your C? Wonderful. On top of my X, what do I multiply to put on the top? 1 and 10, which is 10. On the bottom is good. Who has the side numbers? Hold on. There's only 4 of you that have them. Who has the side numbers? What are they? What are they? -2, -5. We good? All right, go ahead and bring down your stuff. I just want to make sure you have this part. You can go to the bathroom. Just checking my balance in my Linker account, guys. Ooh, we have money. Oh, she hasn't pulled out our stuff yet. That's fine. That's fine. All right. What did you bring down? The x squared and the 10. That comes down, and so does that. What am I replacing in the center? And? Good. Those go in the middle, yes? We good? Draw a box. What has to go in the first box? And what has to go in the last box? Good. The middles don't matter. And negative 5x. Good. Yes? All right. Asking yourself, what do I divide out of x squared and negative 5x? X squared and negative 5x. A 1x. Good. What do I divide out? Listen to my words. What do I divide out of negative 2 and 10? Listen to the words. What do I divide out of negative 2 and 10? Negative what? Negative 2. Not what divides into them. What divides out of them. Not does this go into this. That wasn't the question. The question is what divides out of negative 2 and 10? Yes. That's the most missed question. So you may have wrote negative 5 here, and you may have wrote negative 2 here, and then your answer is technically quote-unquote correct, but your work is wrong, so I mark you wrong. Okay? What divides out of x squared and negative 2x? X. What divides out of negative 5 and 10? Negative 5. Answer is x minus 5 and x minus 2. Okay? Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
You have to be careful. If your work is wrong, but your answer is right, you're still wrong. Okay? You'll have way more time than everybody because of stupid announcements. Ready? Yeah, here we go. You're fine. What? Oh, then you're welcome. Why are you stressed? It's just math.
It's a lot of math. It's a lot of different parts into one problem, and I have 20 problems to do. And it's very scary. Are you saying the IM3?
IM3's easy. No. It's new.
Why do you like IM2 harder than IM3?
Because you've never done it before. You have a new problem. It is 14x squared plus x minus 3. Alyssa, see this? Guess how many problems it is?
1.
Yes. You really need one? I'm pretty sure I did this one on the board. So flip it back. I did it on the board, Alex. I may have done a different sign, but I didn't. Yes, I did. Different signs, y'all. This one's similar. It's when Alyssa said, I know how to multiply by 6. Oh. And I said, at that point in time, yes, she did. Can you tell me what A, B, and C are?
14, 1, negative.
Very good. Can you tell me what goes on top of the X?
Negative 42.
Can you tell me what goes on the bottom? Alyssa, can you tell me your side numbers?
Yes, I can. Negative 6 and 7.
Question or answer? Is that a question or is it a statement?
I'm going to go with the statement.
Okay, good. Negative 6 and positive 7 are your two side numbers, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did this one on the board, maybe a different number on the bottom, but we did do this one. I think we actually did this exact. No, we did this exact one. Look at that. Okay. Who can tell me what to bring down from the top?
14x squared.
Good. Good. Minus 6x plus 7x. Very good. If you don't write the x's, your problem will be wrong because then you won't know what to do. And you look at me like I'm crazy, but I promise you that. All right. What's next? Put them in the box. I wrote a really big box because I don't really care. All right. In the first box. In the last box. This box. Doesn't matter. Positive 7x. Yeah? Okay. Factor out. 14 and 7. What divides into 14? And what divides in? There we go. 7.
Yeah, you said out of.
You said
Oh, yeah.
and then you said
What can I divide out of? Yes. But not into each other.
you said
Sorry, my bad.
okay, wait.
Can you divide 7?
Yeah.
Okay, good. What about x's?
X.
There we go. But you also told me 2.
Because you said in.
Oh, sorry. Negative 6 and negative 3. What divides out of negative 6 and negative 3? Negative 3. 14x squared and 6. 2x. Very good. Why 2? It goes into 4.
7 and 3.
That's what's left.
Yeah.
Yeah. It goes into 14. 2 goes into 14 and 2 goes into 6. 1x because they both have x's, yes? Okay. 7 and 3? Positive or negative? Very good. Answer is?
7x plus 1.
And 7x minus 3. Good.
No.
Okay. Yes. He asked a long time ago, and I told him to go, but I don't know if he still wants to go. Let him go. Put on my desk. All right, we good? Questions?
What time is reminding me?
8. Sign out. Because I need to go to bed early.